Alright kids, no beating around the bush. We need to talk about Borderlands 4 and everything we know up to this point and what to expect from the game at launch and the roadmap they have provided recently from Gearbox. And we all know, right, that we're going to get 4 Vault Hunters at launch, but we're also going to get 2, paid Vault Hunters down the line. Now, of course, that'll be part of the Super Deluxe pack, which is $140. It's a lot of money, but they'll be like $15 each down the line. That's usually what we paid for in the past with Krieg and Gage in the past, so I don't see it being any different in this case. And also, we know we will be getting free and paid story content pack. For example, the Revenge of the Cartels is one of the absolute best, not just free content packs they've ever come up with, but just pieces of content in general, like across all the games that are done. Yeah, it's kind of short and sweet, but that's the point. The whole theme, the atmosphere, it is perfect in my humble opinion. One of the best paid content things packs I've ever come up with was Bounty for Blood in Borderlands 3. That thing was amazing. Like the weapons you get and just the overall story, it was one of a kind. I absolutely adored it. Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, everyone knows that for Borderlands 2. That thing is goated. It was incredible. Super challenging, but it was so good. They just outdid themselves, so let's hope they stick to their guns here, no pun intended, that they actually deliver high quality content and not half-ass it like they did in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands spinoff. Even though that game had great bones, the DLC was absolute garbage and overpriced for what you were getting. Really sad. So let's hope they do us justice here with this main entry. I hope they will. And so far they're going back and improving upon things here and listening to feedback of the players. For example, they want to improve the story, and hopefully they're right about that, and they are improving the actual story, because the story in BL3 was dog shit, mainly because of Ava. Everybody hates Ava. They still hate Ava. They do not want to see her, and thank God we have not seen her yet, and hopefully we never see her ass again. I know I don't. So that and the scarcity of legendaries. Thank God they're dialing it back. They heard feedback. Too many legendaries dropped in BL3. So they're making it more meaningful. Let's hope they stick to it, especially in the end game. They make it more that actual dopamine. Now, Gearbox has confirmed recently that they are, in fact, bringing back pearlescence. In what capacity, we don't know yet. If it's just going to be weapons, or a part of their new weapon part system, or both. They haven't said anything about it, just confirming that they are coming back, and not at launch, though they will come a few months later as part of a free update content pack. And I guess we're going to go from there. So hopefully they're not overpowered, hopefully they're not undertuned. They're not part of a meta build that they're so insane that everybody wants them, but they did confirm they'll be less than 1%, so if you get them, means you're a real one. For getting one, you are lucky as fuck. Alright, another bit of good news that developers talked about was this being one seamless open world divided into 4 big open areas to explore, all being distinctive, like your grassy area, your snowy area, your I think a volcanic area, something like that, your desert area is what I'm thinking of. And this is the first time they've done a seamless open world, which does raise some concerns about performance on launch, about how bad it's going to be, because open world games have a bad reputation of having a lot of bugs and just poor performance on launch until they get eventually patched out. And we do know there will be a day 1 patch with the game, so that is promising for a lot of this, but it remains to be seen until then. That moving forward, it is also confirmed that there will be dynamic events in this seamless open world that they're talking about, akin to Destiny 2's dynamic events. Now, hopefully they're not as shitty as Destiny 2's, that they're a bit more, involved, interactive, and just straight up fun, and of course rewarding, just straight up meaningful. And of course, we'll just have to wait and see how good they are, if there's enough variety of them, and hopefully not super mind-numbing and not so overpowered that it's the only place to source, loot, worthwhile loot anyways, as opposed to boss farming. But if it's balanced enough that you can do some boss farming and the dynamic events, then I'm all good with that. That sounds plenty good to me, no problem. But of course there's a cooldown on these events, so we don't absolutely run them through, that it's the only thing we're doing and we're actually playing the game. I'm okay with that too. Whatever it takes to get the game to a somewhat more balanced state and worthwhile, so we're not wasting too much time doing one thing. Now, moving forward, they have talked about set bonus pieces of armor. They call it firmware, but essentially functions like armor, but with set bonuses. And from what they've shown off recently, you get like manufacturer bonuses. For example, like Malawan, you get like a 3 pieces. It's like a 3-piece bonus, and then there's a 5-piece bonus. Example for Malawan, 3-piece bonus, you get like elemental damage, and then the 5-piece bonus, I think it's something bigger than that, like a stacking bonus or something. Same thing with Jacobs, you get like a reload bonus and then like maybe a crit damage bonus, if I'm not mistaken. That's kind of how it's gonna run. And I think there'll be legendary versions of the same thing that'll be even stronger and better and all that, which I cannot wait. And also they showed off as well that the legendary mods, the class mods for the characters too, the Vault Hunters, they will be traditional, have their unique bonuses, but also they're introduced for the first time capstone bonuses on the class mods. We've never had that before. They wanted to include it in BL3, but they didn't, but now we're getting it for the first time ever in Borderlands history. And what that means is that you could have a capstone on that legendary mod while you're spec'd into a completely different tree, but still reaping the bonuses of that capstone. Really freaking cool. I don't know if it'll be power creep or not. I don't really care for the most part, but it does sound cool, and I can't wait to see it's just going to create a lot more build diversity in my opinion. At least that's what I hope so. So hey, fingers crossed. Alright, moving forward, a part of the end game here, what they've shown off is fragments. These fragments you get, I guess, from the events, the dynamic events, that you get to accumulate, and from bosses too. Get those fragments to open vaults, and the vaults is apparently one of the end game loops that you'll be doing, is fragments, opening vaults, going through the vault, defeating bosses, do a vault run. Hopefully, I don't know if the vault runs will be like a Malawan takedown-esque thing. If that's true, that's awesome. That's exactly what we're all asking for. We want cool endgame content here. There will be invincible bosses. They have already shown off that. There's going to be, I think, like 2 or 3, maybe more, I don't know, at the launch of the game, from what I heard, but correct me if I'm wrong. So that will be another piece of content, and if these vault runs include the invincible bosses, that's a part of that, that's fine with me. That sounds sick as hell anyways. And there's still more they haven't told us about the endgame. They have recently tweeted about that as well, that they want more, that the other bits of endgame to be discovered by the players. They don't want to tell us absolutely everything all in one go. And that, that's fine. Some people might be disappointed. They want to know now, and that's okay. I understand. But the sense of discovery, I feel, is important too. So we be like, oh my god, this is amazing. This is what we've been waiting for. Finally an actual end game. Comparable to BL3. Because the takedowns were so good. And that's pretty much all I have to say. This is all we have to look forward to right now, and I'm just hopefully you guys like this content, and I'm just curious about what you all want to see from the game, what you're hoping for. What Vault Hunters are you going to be playing on launch? Amon, Vex, Rafa, or Harlow? I'm definitely going with Harlow starting out, maybe even Vex, I'm not sure, but I'm curious what y'all think. Please comment down below, I want to hear it. And that being said, thank you all for watching. Catch you on the next one. Peace out, Cub Scouts.